What's up, guys, and welcome back to Lifting Love Reacts. So there's a lot going on. We are 2 days now officially away from Survivor Series War Games. It's going to be an amazing night. There's a lot of stuff going on. I kind of wanted to dive into what's happening. Also, kind of want to give my predictions. I'm starting to realize with content that it's not really about what you do. It's about how much you enjoy doing it. And I really enjoy WWE, and I'm going to start for every PLE giving my predictions and starting to react to more videos and potentially even doing more WWE style content. So stay tuned for that. But let's get right into it. Most people would start at the top with, the biggest match of it all, and we will get there. But I definitely want to spend the most time on that. So what I want to do first is go through the from the beginning all the way to the men's War Games match. So Intercontinental Championship match, Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. Definitely going to be a brawl of a match. I think Sheamus and Braun Breaker put on a banger. I do think Ludwig is very underrated. However, with all that considered, I do think for Braun Breaker's standpoint, I do see two endings. I don't think Ludwig wins. I think Sheamus wins. I think if Sheamus wins, it's only going to be because I believe this is the only title he'll need to be a Grand Slam champion. So they might do it for the history of that. But if they don't do it for the history of that, Braun obviously has to continue to hold this title because he's, besides the feud with Jay where they gave Jay the title for the storyline, which I think he deserved to hold it. That's a whole nother story that we can go down a rabbit hole. But besides that, I think Braun should have never lost the title. And I don't think he should lose the title now. I think to prove his dominance, that he should continue holding the title. Again, just my opinion. But if they were to let Sheamus win, I think it would be just so he could be the Grand Slam champion, which would be awesome because Sheamus is, over 15 years in the business, has been doing amazing stuff. I've been watching Sheamus. I literally was watching wrestling the night he debuted. It's just unbelievable. So I like the match. I like how they got it to where it is. But I don't think Braun Breaker loses the title. And the only reason he does lose the title, it's to Sheamus because of the history thing. So I'm going to go Braun Breaker on that. And the only other way it doesn't happen is because, they want to give Sheamus the history. Second match, which I honestly didn't even know was official because there's been no backstory to it, is the United States Championship match, which is LA Knight, against Shinsuke Nakamura. And Shinsuke kind of came out of nowhere. I knew he had injuries. I didn't know how long he was going to be out. They kind of haven't talked about him. They kind of haven't mentioned him at all. So I kind of just completely forgot about Shinsuke Nakamura. I kind of don't like the cockiness. Like, LA Knight's always been a cocky kind of personality, but I feel like the minute he won the championship, he's really gotten full of himself. And in his business, they're a bunch of alphas, and I get that, but the crowd built LA Knight to where he is. Is he a good in-ring wrestler? Yeah, I mean, he's not the greatest, but is he a good in-ring wrestler? Yeah, 100%. LA Knight, like, he has the intangibles to be a great superstar, but I just don't like his character and how it's been the past couple months since beating Logan Paul in SummerSlam. I believe he beat Logan Paul, could be wrong. So I don't like how his character's developed over there. I kind of feel like it's kind of flatlined. I thought Logan Paul brought a lot to the United States Championship, but also you gotta remember, like, he just fought Andreas and Carmelo Hayes, two young up-and-coming guys. I believe Andreas is actually a little older, though, but he's still at that mid-card level. He's a fantastic performer. And Carmelo Hayes, who's super young and really in, like, the prime of his career. So if Shinsuke Nakamura was to win, I think that would be a disservice to Carmelo Hayes and Andreas, two other guys who very much deserved it. But I could see how they would give it to Shinsuke Nakamura because he's had so many opportunities in the past and he hasn't capitalized on. And it seems like WWE is really giving people a lot of chances. I think that's evident with how many times the World Championship has turned hands since WrestleMania. So we've had 4 different champions since the night of WrestleMania. You know what I mean, for the World Heavyweight Championship. So it's definitely interesting. It would definitely be interesting to see if Shinsuke won, but I'm gonna have to go with LA Knight, yeah, for the victory on that. The women's War Games match, completely forgot about that as I'm scrolling through the match card. Candice LeRae, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan versus Naomi, Io Sky, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. So many titles, so many storylines going into this, so many different clashing feuds and friendships and rivalries going into this one. Bayley just got added because Jade Cargill got beat up and was left lifeless on the hood of the car. So Bayley's in there, and there's a couple ways that this could go, but I think this match is going to be dominated. I think Rhea Ripley goes in last. I think Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley go in last. And I think Rhea Ripley is the one who beats, because she's really the only one who has a storyline here. There's a couple narratives they could go, but I think Rhea Ripley and Liv to set up for the next pay-per-view, which might be Saturday night's main event. I know they're bringing that back for December. I think it would be if Rhea Ripley hit the Annihilator on Liv to then set up that feud once again, even though that feud doesn't need to be set up, just to show, hey, I pinned you, I want my shot. Or they could do, now that Bianca doesn't have a tag team partner, she could be going after Nia Jax. She hits her with her move, and then Nia Jax, now they have a story there. So there's a couple different routes they can go. I wasn't expecting Bayley. I thought there'd be a big return, like maybe the man comes back. I don't know. There's a couple different places that could have went, but Bayley being in there definitely adds to that. I think Bianca Belair is due for a title. Obviously, I think Rhea Ripley, I don't like Liv as champion. I think Liv's a good character, but I think Rhea Ripley was a better champion, just in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with the good ones on this one, the good guys. We're gonna go with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Io Sky, and Naomi taking the victory, with Rhea Ripley pinning Liv Morgan to set up that storyline. Next, we have El Champion, Damian Priest, going up against the current world heavyweight champion, Gunther. People aren't gonna like my take on Gunther. I haven't really been super surprised with him, and haven't really been like super impressed, I should say. He's a good wrestler. I mean, everybody in the WWE is a good wrestler. They're professionals, right? I'm not the biggest fan of Gunther. I think all of his matches lately have been very boring. Like from his perspective, like him in the match, like he doesn't do anything crazy. It's kind of the same move set every single time. You're gonna get a period where he just chomps the hell out of somebody, and he puts someone in a submission, which is cool. But like, this is not the UFC. We're not here to submit people. We're here to get action, do a crazy move, get the pin, 1, 2, 3. And it's cool that they're bringing back some submissions, because I feel like there hasn't been a lot of submission finishes in a very long time. But like, I'm just not like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to see that Gunther match. It's just not how my mindset's been lately. He had WrestleMania was probably the best match I've ever seen from Gunther. Him and Sammy put on an absolute show. I personally don't think he should have lost that match. It made sense for Sammy at the time. but I believe he should have kept it. And then there was a couple other people who came up, and I get why they moved forward with that. With Braun Breaker coming in, but I don't think he should have been ultimately brought up. The botched thing with Randy, all this other stuff. I think there's a lot there. I'm not the biggest fan of Gunther, so I'm gonna go against Gunther. I do love Damian Priest. I love his story of just completely going through all the odds, and being an older superstar and just being a main eventer. I do think that him and Finn, the Judgment Day is going to come out at some point. The Judgment Day is going to come out at some point and cost Damian this match. I think that's a very high possibility. Even with that said, and knowing that that's a possibility, I'm gonna go with Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest deserves to have that. I think it would be really cool to see, because they do have good matches. I don't think all Gunther's matches are bad, but him and Damian Priest have had a couple good matches. I think for him to win, if Damian Priest won, then it just becomes a series, and then they're gonna have to do something either at the Royal Rumble or at Saturday Night Main Event. I would love to see kind of like a trilogy. I think that'd be a really good direction for that to go. So for that, and the hopes of that, I would really like to see Damian Priest win. And now, finally, for the main event. The match that I've literally been glued to my TV every time there's a segment. Every time I see something pop up on social media, I'm glued to my seat. I'm glued to the TV. I just love all the action. So, the men's War Games match, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, the Usos, and CM Punk versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Big Bronson Reed. This has been must-watch. This has been must-watch TV the past couple weeks. And if you have not been glued to the Bloodline story, this is probably one of the best storylines. I'm not talking about just these past couple months specifically. Like, the Bloodline story has been going on 5 years. I don't know exactly how long the Bloodline story has been going on, but it's been amazing. I was not a fan at first. I did not like all the stuff that they were doing. After the fact of Roman losing the title, that's when I really was like, okay. I started looking back. I started really getting into it. Since Roman has returned, I have been stuck to my TV every time the Bloodline storyline is on my TV or is a part of any programming. It's currently the best storyline going on. How we got here, I think, doesn't really matter. I think an important thing to note is CM Punk, his very non-trusting behavior. He's done a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of out-of-pocket stuff that he's betrayed people. There's a lot of story there, but we could keep the positive angle and think that he's just here to help Paul Heyman, and he's not here to benefit Roman Reigns at all. And Roman Reigns kind of just caught in the crossfire as far as CM Punk helping them. I was a little shocked that it was CM Punk that came back. It makes sense because CM Punk, if they win, and let's say he's the one to pin Bronson Reed, that could add fuel to him and Seth. Hey, you didn't want to help your buddy. I pinned the guy, who's been kicking your ass. All these different things. I think that's one angle. I was really expecting Brock Lesnar, but I don't think Brock makes any sense. The only reason that Brock Lesnar does not make sense is because Brock would literally, just the way his character is built up, he'd beat everybody unless they just put him against Bronson or Fatu. And now it's just a slugfest, and they're going back and forth because Jacob does the no-sell moves where he's able to just absorb the contact, right? I really thought it was going to be Brock. Brock really is kind of the only, because you got to think about it. Jacob and Bronson Reed have a lot of power on that side. It's that side's all power. And like as much as like Roman Reigns and Jay and and Sammy are they have power, I really thought they would bring like a big guy like Lesnar in. The crowd probably would have went electric if Brock Lesnar went out. I was just speculating that, heard some rumors, didn't think anything of it. In my brain, I just thought that it'd be cool. But CM Punk coming out does serve multi-purposes. Heard the other day that CM Punk and Roman Reigns have history because Roman Reigns debuted in a CM Punk match. I think it was like a triple threat match. And it was Roman's first match, apparently. I don't know. So there's some history there. Can they trust him? We'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown. But I think there's a lot here. I mean, there's just so many things can happen. It's like, does Roman pin Solo? Does Jay pin Fatu? Does CM Punk pin Reed? There's just so many things that could go wrong. Does Jimmy turn? Does The Rock come back? There's so many different things being thrown out there. Now, I will tell you, I do think The Rock comes back at the end of this, kind of like how he did at what pay-per-view? Did he come back? Bad Blood? I think he came back at Bad Blood. I don't know. I don't know what could happen, because all we have is the facts that are in front of us. Is there history there with The Rock? 100%. Does this match line up more matches in the future? Possibly. Does CM Punk do this as a one-off? More than likely. He didn't put up one up. So I don't think he's aligned with the bloodline. Like, he's not in the bloodline. He's just, okay, I said that wrong. He's not in the bloodline. He's aligned with the bloodline for this one match. And I think it's really more so to get back at Seth through that. Hey, like, I helped your ex-best friend who you can't stand anymore, and I did the GTS to the person who's been whooping your ass the past, so again, so many different storylines that they can go. I love the creative and what it's been. I think Triple H has been doing a fantastic job. Still kind of weird to see him be running the creative and be, the new era Vince McMahon, which I think the best thing for WWE has been Vince being gone. But I think this match is probably one of the most highly anticipated matches that I've, at least in the past 6 months, have been like wanting to see. This War Games match has been accumulating over the past couple months. This is probably the most wanted match since Roman and Cody at WrestleMania 40. And I don't know, there's like the cool thing about WWE, and like, for the people who are out there who are like, it's fake, it's this, it's that, they're still professional athletes who put their body and lives on the line, tell stories, and there's all these different things that go on. So the story behind this has just been incredible. So all the different ways that they can go with this, I think it's amazing. They're going to have to do a lot to top War Games last year. Solely just from the match, not even like CM Punk returning, which is why, to top it, I think they might bring The Rock back. So there's a lot, well, Edge is hurt, so because I believe they're in Toronto, which would be crazy if Edge came back. But he broke his leg. How long ago did Edge break his leg? Oh, yeah, this is back in May. So, I mean, definitely, yeah. So, Edge is out of the question. But The Rock coming back would be crazy. It is Toronto. I mean, I think that's just something that's going to be seen. So, obviously, I got the OG bloodline in this match. Let me know. Let me know about your predictions. Let me know who you got. If you think any of my takes are wrong, I would love to have some really good, genuine debates about all this stuff. I love WWE, and I really want to continue to do more WWE content. So make sure you put some of your comments, questions, your predictions in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more. But until next time, there's only one thing to do. That's lift love. Crochet. We out.